nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State has raised alarm over what he called the massive influx of the Boko Haram terrorists along the Benue-Nasarawa border, jeopardizing efforts at maintaining peace and security. The governor was in the State House to brief President Muhammadu Buhari on the worrisome situation and the way forward. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that problems associated with COVID-19 and roads infrastructure were also discussed.
You are welcome. Thank you, sir. You are so close, yet so far.
Yes, sir. This is the first formal engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule in the year 2021. The governor is here to thank the president for his prompt intervention in dislodging the Boko Haram elements that settled and wreaking havoc at the border between Nasarawa and the FCT.
When I came here the last time, I appealed to Mr. President, and then the DSS, police, Air Force, Army had a joint operation, and they were able to dislodge them. When they dislodged them, a lot of them were killed, some of them ran away and leave their members of the family. We took hostage about 900 members of that family into Lafia. Now they have gone back and gathered at our border with Benue, and they are causing a lot of havoc. Therefore, it was an opportunity Mr. President wanted to know, so I briefed him, and I strongly believe, just like decision was taken last time to take care of this, another decision will be taken to do this.
Governor Sule also used the opportunity to show appreciation to President Buhari for approving the utilization of the ecological funds towards constructing a road linking Uke, Karshi and the FCT aimed at easing the traffic congestion along the Kefi-Abuja highway.
But what will solve the problem once and for all is if we have additional route from Gitata, Panda, Guruku and Mpape. That one will solve two of our problems. One, it will go ahead and reduce the traffic jam along these two routes that we have at the moment. And then it will also open up the area for development. In fact, you can call that another Maitama. That's the second Maitama because it's very close to Maitama once we do that. So we came specifically to appeal to Mr. President to take over that road. The government actually discussed it once at the ESCO meeting and took a decision. But I came to see if we can expedite in the commencement of that work.
The governor also briefed the president on the devastating effect of coronavirus on lives and livelihoods in the state and solicited the support of the federal government towards controlling and containing the pandemic. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army has enjoined candidates for the Short Service and Executive Commission courses at Falgore Forest, Kano, to be prepared for deployment to war fronts in any parts of the country. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa was at the ongoing selection exercise at the Falgore Forest, Kano.
These are civilians aspiring for the Nigerian Army Short Service Commission, Course 47, while these soldiers are candidates for the Executive Commission, Course 1, 2021. Successful candidates for the Short Service Commission will proceed for a 9-month training at the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, while those for the Executive Commission will move to Kachia for 4 months intensive training.
Have to make up your mind.
Addressing the candidates, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Bratai, represented notes that physical fitness exercise has been upscaled in the screening to enhance endurance and mobility.
If you know you are not ready to go and fight a war that we're in right now, you are not ready to go and be deployed in Maiduguri or in Sambisa or in Timbuktu Triangle, before we go anywhere, you can fall out. Nobody is going to force you.
We have to go and make sure that
a member of the Federal Charter Commission from the presidency was at the screening to ensure compliance with the nation's quota system. From Falgore camp in Kano, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Major stakeholders in Zamfara state security sector have unanimously resolved that the peace deal initiated by the state government be sustained and reinvigorated to complement the kinetic approach to achieving lasting peace in the state. This resolution was reached at the end of an emergency meeting of the stakeholders presided over by Zamfara State Governor Bello Mohammed at Government House, Gusau. Haliru Mohammed Umar has more.
The recent resurgence of armed banditry in some local government areas of Zamfara state has continued to aggravate tension amongst the residents, especially the rural communities. Governor Bello Mohammed convened an emergency stakeholders meeting on security to examine the situation and to collectively chart ways of tackling the problem. The meeting, which lasted for several hours, particularly centered on reviewing the controversial peace deal initiated by Zamfara state government, as the governor engages heads of security agencies, traditional rulers, local government sole administrators, and religious leaders on whether to continue with the initiative or discard it. The stakeholders who took turn to talk on the matter and other related issues unanimously resolved that the peace deal be sustained and reinvigorated to go simultaneously with the kinetic approach, considering the significant impact it has made in the restoration of relative peace to the state. The meeting, however, identified activities of the outlawed vigilante, informers of the bandits, and the politicization of security issues as the major obstacles of the ongoing efforts to achieving lasting peace in Zamfara state. In Gusau, Haliru Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force has flagged off the distribution of 200,000 units of motorcycles to boost the morale and enhance the quality of service delivery of its officers and men. Francis Fong reports.
Elated police officers and rank and file receiving their checks for the purchase of motorcycles. The only criteria to benefit is membership and contribution to the NPF multipurpose cooperative. It is the latest measure to motivate the personnel. The police has in the past prioritized the promotion, execution of affordable housing and facilitation for soft loans as welfare packages for the police personnel to enjoy.
The loan, which comes with a long repayment period of up to 3.5 years, is a strategic inclusion to the IGP's welfare program that attracts zero processing fee.
We shall continue to accord priority to the welfare through the scheme of this nature, and we shall continually evolve other well-thought-out initiatives towards improving their welfare.
The chairman of Police Trust Fund, Suleiman Abba, used the event to explain that the bottlenecks surrounding the takeoff of the Police Trust Fund has been resolved.
The security challenges are quite enormous, and we don't want a situation where the trust fund gets involved in the purchase of what is not needed. Myself, as the chair, and other trustees have a commitment to ensure that they keep up to the trust.
He pledged that the board will soon hit the ground running to achieve the objectives for which it is set up. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
Men of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Rivers State Command have discovered an illegal dump where adulterated petroleum products are being stored. Robinson Deretaide reports that the dump was found at Rumomasi area of Port Harcourt.
Site located in a compound at Arochukwu Street, Rumomasi, Port Harcourt, was discovered during an intelligence gathering by the Special Anti-Vandal Team of the NSCDC on the 19th of January. The compound, located in a busy residential area, has a beauty supply store, which perhaps facilitates easy transaction of the illegal business. A car loaded with illegally refined petroleum product, as well as several other gallons loaded with the product, were discovered and seized by the NSCDC team, while a suspect and the landlord of the building were arrested.
What I just showed you is what we call disaster waiting, which was averted by the prompt action of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Through our intelligence, we were able to discover this particular dump.
The suspect, alongside other residents, denied any knowledge of the illegal business in the area.
I go there on Tuesday to work. Emergency, I saw some people coming there. Then they started calling me because they're plenty. The house gone. They started calling me, start to come here. Then I fear. I start running. Then I stop at the gate. Then they come meet me there. They ask me, what am I doing there? I say, I'm working here. I'm offloading crates.
I came to work, so I just see few civil defense people. They just walking here, pack some diesel and went out.
Investigation is ongoing to arrest other suspects linked to the illegal act. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Delatede, NTA News.
A secret warehouse alleged to be containing looted property of the Imo State government has been discovered in Owerri. The Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Simon Ebechulem, made the disclosure after inspecting the facility. Bright Ebuchu has details.
The visit to the warehouse, alleged to be containing looted properties of the Imo State government, follows the action of a whistleblower who intimated of the facility located along Owerri-Aba Road, opposite Alaba Market, Naze, in Owerri North local government. The Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Simeon Ebebulem, who led a team to inspect the warehouse while briefing journalists, confirmed that the equipment actually belonged to the Imo State government.
The state government has already taken possession of this entire building, and anybody seen here anymore will be arrested.
Some of the equipment discovered on the warehouse include traffic light accessories, solar panels, ceramic molders, believed to have been looted from Msu Tiles factory in Mbano, in Owerri. Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
Nnewi, the industrial hub of Anambra State, was Friday morning thrown into pandemonium when a truck loaded with diesel went up in flames at a filling station along Nnewi-Nobi Road. The fire, which reached through gutters, spread to shops along the road as fears of the fire spreading to residential buildings threw residents into panic. Eyewitnesses say the incident occurred at the diesel-laden truck attempted to discharge a product to a smaller tanker at the filling station. The generator hose being used for transfer was said to have pulled out, causing the diesel to spill on the generator, which ignited the fire. The Nnewi Fire Service was said to have quickly arrived at the scene and succeeded in putting it out. No life was lost in the incident, but all the dispensing meters at the filling station, a motorcycle, generator and the long truck were all burnt, among other valuables. Let's now join Adiola in our Lagos Network Center for stories trending from there. Hi, Adiola.
Ifoma. We'll begin with the Nigerian Army and operational capacity. In pursuance of the current realities to meet up with global best standards and tackle emerging security threats, the Nigerian Army has embarked on massive infrastructural upgrade of its facilities across several formations. The latest is the inauguration of remodeled structures at the Nigerian Army Ordnance Corps headquarters in Lagos. Lynn Deneke reports.
Enhanced proficiency and combat readiness remains a priority to the Nigerian Army as it targets greater levels of successes in their operations, and provision of befitting infrastructure and facilities is a demonstration of the Chief of Army Staff's drive to bridge infrastructural deficits across its formations.
So help us God.
The remodeled Naval Hall and other structures within the 81 Division area of responsibility is to further enhance personnel development.
The newly reconstructed hall will add great value to the activities of Headquarters Nigerian Army Ordnance Corps in terms of hosting conferences and seminars. I wish to also seize this opportunity to appreciate your tireless efforts and contributions towards the success of all Nigerian Army operations across various theaters.
This feat by the Ordnance Headquarters is to enhance efforts of the Army in protecting the territorial integrity of the nation.
Through this project, your vision, which is to have a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles, has been clearly driven home and in the letter of your vision statement.
Initiatives like this amplify the Army's resolve to tackling any form of insecurity and other challenges that could arise. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
Now moving on to improved maritime security, fleet recapitalization, infrastructural development, capacity building through trainings, research and development, as well as increased hours at sea are key areas that have helped turn the tide of insecurity within the maritime domain in the last 5 years. In this report, Dr. Guyemi examines the successes achieved by the Nigerian Navy as well as prospects for improved maritime security.
On the streets of Lagos and across Nigeria, businesses and livelihoods depend on safe maritime activities, which accounts for over 90% of Nigeria's trade. With a national maritime environment of about 84,000 square nautical miles and an exclusive economic zone of 200 nautical miles, including its area of interest in the Gulf of Guinea, the protection of which is the statutory responsibility of the Nigerian Navy. Over the years, its effort has bridged some security gaps at sea, with a year-on-year increase of hours spent at sea by its capital ships and other vessels. The figure, as at 2020, stood cumulatively at 27,758 hours. This feat has translated into a reduction in the trend of piracy attacks to 22 attacks recorded in 2020 within the Nigerian maritime environment and 44 within the Gulf of Guinea. Its efficiency at addressing illegal bunkering activities culminated in 982 illegal local refineries and refining sites deactivated, with about 487 suspects arrested. In the area of fleet recapitalization, the Navy has in the past 6 years acquired 378 platforms of varying categories from UAVs, patrol crafts, fast intervention boats, and helicopters, with others being expected to join the fleet in 2021.
Sea-power is enabled by adequate research and development, like we saw in the latest 40-meter SDB. A lot has been put into it, a lot of improvement from the Caradua experience. Research and development must be nothing less than 10% of the GDP of the service. We need to capitalize on that so that you can win your own staff, groom them for higher development, so that tomorrow we might begin to develop our own guns and missiles.
Also worthy of mention is the Falcon Eye surveillance system, which aided monitoring of vessels and activities at sea.
The Falcon Eye has been a partner to the achievement of the Nigerian Navy total spectrum maritime strategy, and has been part of the doctrine of staying behind, watching from perspectives of the Falcon Eye alignment, and responding as efficiently as possible.
With these initiatives, the Nigerian Navy is poised to appropriately address prevailing challenges and is repositioned for enhanced operational efficiency in 2021. In Lagos, Dotun Ukmiyemi, NTA News.
Now let's take some judiciary reports. A federal high court sitting in Lagos has ordered that 2 businessmen accused of dealing in adulterated engine oil products be remanded at the Ikoyi Correctional Center pending the determination of their bail application. Justice Chuka Obiozo issued the order after the Standard Organization of Nigeria (SON) arraigned the 2 men on a 5-count charge.
5-count charge brought against the 2 defendants, Vanguard Lupa and Bright Obuabu, include fraudulent inscription of fake SON mark and certification number on the substandard products. The defendants were accused of forging labels of Total, Mobil, Fort Oil and Masco to deceive unsuspecting buyers. When the charges were read to the 2 accused persons, they pleaded not guilty to the charges. Prosecuting counsel Adeleke Olofindare told the courts that he had 5 witnesses to prove his case. He urged the courts to remand the defendants in custody at the Nigerian Correctional Center till the conclusion of the trial. But the defense counsel, Mr. Akinwumi, said he intended to file a bail application. Justice Chuka Obiozo then fixed February 1 for hearing of defendants' bail application. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
That's a bit from Lagos. Let's take a breather now. Nationwide will continue thereafter.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher yo a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher jọ̀wọ́ a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé.
Ajebo na better school for last gidi. Not be all this on a rugged school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi. We know happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. Hey, we are trying, shall. Sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, I talk with that now.
Not for me.
You won't make a die.
Not for me because of Pamio.
Do you know that 35% of every girl child and women are raped on daily basis? Some are killed in the process, some take their lives in shame, others remain emotionally dead for life. It is sad. This culture is not ours, definitely not African. How did we allow bad culture to infiltrate and take over? Even if you lack fear for the law, what of fear of God? And you, why do you cover up rape acts when it happens? Remember, a problem shared is a problem half solved. Never cover any rape act because a rapist is a murderer. It could be you or your loved ones next. Women must be treated like the prize gem they are. Say no to rape.
Focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Logo gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has announced 1,964 new COVID-19 infections in 23 states and the FCT. In the latest figures released, Lagos is still leading with 824 new cases. FCT has 246, Plateau 166, Kaduna 128, Ogun 76, Nasarawa 74, Anambra 69, Edo 50, Rivers 45, Ondo 44, Niger 40, as Oyo State has 38 new cases. There were 35 new cases recorded in Adamawa, 31 in Kano, 27 in Akwa Ibom, 19 in Gombe, 13 in Kwara, 12 in Ekiti. Delta and Kebbi recorded 6 new cases each, as 5 were recorded in Bauchi, 4 in Ebonyi, 3 in Osun, and 1 in Zamfara. The active cases at the moment are 21,524 in Nigeria. So far, Nigeria has 116,655 confirmed cases of COVID-19, with 93,646 discharged, while 1,485 died of the virus. And the federal government has inaugurated a 17-member committee to develop protocols for the evaluation of herbal medicine in a bid to finding local solution to COVID-19 and other viral infections. Nneka Oko reports.
At the wake of coronavirus pandemic, many traditional medicine practitioners made claims to have developed substances to cure COVID-19. The situation generated concerns in many quarters, prompting the federal government to direct its expert committee on protocols for the evaluation of herbal medicine to certify such claims.
This expert committee is drawn from various stakeholders with relevant expertise in the field of research. The inclusion of traditional medicine practitioners is a testimony to government's commitment to develop and promote traditional medicine.
Protocols for evaluation of herbal medicines will ensure the right quality of raw materials, production processes, control, packaging, transportation, and storage of herbal medicines.
With the release of 10 billion naira by the federal government to support research and production of local vaccines for COVID-19, the committee is hopeful that formal integration of traditional medicine into conventional ones will hold much promise for the future.
The huge amount of knowledge that is trapped in this country, if we're able to open them up, we won't be looking for any outside drug.
So we want government to promote us. We want government to tell Nigerians that, look, the time have come for us to begin to use our local content, our local product.
The committee also urged Nigerians to adhere strictly to the precautionary measures against COVID-19, as advised by the PTF. In Abuja, Nneka Oko, NTA News.
Meanwhile, worried by the poor attitude to compliance with COVID-19 safety measures, the Imo State government recently rolled out steps to enforce adherence to the rules. Rina Ohiri now reports on the level of implementation of enforcement.
The over 4 deaths resulting from COVID-19 has further heightened the concern of the Imo State government over the poor level of compliance to the COVID-19 safety measures by residents of the state. Worried by the situation, the State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Declan Emeluba, had highlighted new measures put in place by the government to enforce compliance with safety rules at a briefing a week ago. The measures include the setting up of mobile court to try offenders. A drive round major streets in Owerri, however, reflects the old order, as some people were seen without their face masks going about their businesses unchecked.
We don't just want to bounce on people and start arresting them and doing all that without giving them the benefit of doubt to know that this thing is real and it is in your interest that you observe the protocols for your safety, for the safety of your life and the lives of your loved ones.
The chairman Imo State Task Force on COVID-19, Professor Morisiwu, says the resurgence of the deadly virus could have been prevented if the safety measures were strictly adhered to. He describes the enforcement measures soon to commence in Imo State as a major step towards eradicating the spread of COVID-19.
One thing we have determined to do, public spaces must be kept in compliance.
In Owerri, Rina Ohiri, NTA News.
The Rivers State's government's directive to civil servants below grade level 14 to stay at home as a measure to contain the second wave of COVID-19 has begun to take effect. This is just as the government said the proactive measure and others are steps taken to protect lives amidst calls for collective action to reverse the trend.
In the latest directive, civil servants below grade level 14 are to stay at home even as teachers and schools remain active in operation.
The latest measure has now reviewed the recall of all the civil servants within the context of the hike in the incidence of COVID-19. So this circular does not alter the calendar of the school. What it does is reinforces the principles of COVID-19 that has been set down by the state government. And mind you, there is a COVID-19 task force which monitors compliance of the protocols in schools. I'm a member of the task force.
Expectedly, with lesser number of staff, a number of government activities stand to be affected. Obonna is among some of those who came to the state secretariat for government transaction but couldn't be attended to because the officer who ought to attend to him is among those now at home. For Obonna, this is a sacrifice everyone needs to make, supporting the government's efforts towards set objective.
Not much of the staff are there, but at least I saw someone who agreed to be sure.
Keen observers also want the government and its agencies to further drive the strict adherence campaign to the COVID-19 protocols across other public institutions in the state. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Nigeria operates a farming system that is mostly dependent on rain-fed cultivation, and this, based on studies, impacts negatively on the development of agriculture. To boost agriculture's productivity, experts say there is need to embrace irrigation farming, especially in the rural areas, to enable farmers beat the odds that come with cultivation of crops in the dry season. Justina Etim takes a look at investment in agriculture to guarantee all year-round farming.
Majority of Nigerian farmers are rural dwellers who prefer to grow their crops during the rainy season when there is access to sufficient water. In fact, findings reveal that most rural farmers prepare for cropping after few rainfalls. For the farmers, cultivating during the dry season poses a big challenge and hinders good yields.
Dry season farming gives more money than the rain season farming. Why? Because you're farming off season and you sell better. When the crops are not in the market, so you sell better.
We need pump at least that will help us to at least less the suffering in the farm.
We can't really plant and we have to pour water on it, and we get water by buying it.
For the Cross River State government, which has a passion for agriculture, funding its numerous agriculture projects has been a challenge, as majority of its farmlands are located in areas where there is inadequate water required for the crops to flourish.
Federal government should see the provision of irrigation as a major issue to be attended to. If we are provided with modern irrigation facilities, I think it will increase our yield by over 100%.
And over 20 years now, the irrigation facilities have collapsed. We are trying to partner with Basin Authority to ensure that all the old irrigation facilities are revived, and at the same time, new ones are equally built.
As the present administration intends to make agriculture the mainstay of the economy, it must look beyond the rain-fed cultivation to enable farmers produce more high-value crops. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
Time to join Kemi in Ibadan Network Center for more stories on Nationwide. Over to you, Kemi.
Thank you, Ifoma, and welcome to Ibadan. The need for improved collaboration with government in research and development for soil-specific intervention towards environmental conservation and agricultural productivity has been emphasized. This was at a workshop on soil mapping and fertility evaluation for tomatoes and oil palm at the Institute for Agricultural Research and Training, Ibadan. Kemioshi has details.
Yields remain unrealized due to the need for adaptation of soil for necessary improvements, as continuous use of soil for agriculture reduces its capacity for maximum yield. For oil palm and tomatoes, experts say there has been a decline in the level of production by many smallholder farmers across Nigeria who depend on native soil fertility due to climate change, aging trees, diseases and declining soil fertility.
The bane of our farmers is productivity, because the farmer puts in so much energy into production, but he gets very little out of it.
We'll be able to formulate fertilizer that are suitable for oil palm, and it will be site-specific.
There are times we apply what the crop does not need. That's wastage in terms of resources.
We have come to understand that the nutrients status of the soils in different regions vary, and there is need to give to the soil what it requires.
The soil mapping and fertility evaluation for oil palm and tomatoes is expected to result in enhanced value chain of crops, improved livelihood for farmers, and boost the nation's economy.
It will save our foreign exchange earning. Also, it will generate employment.
So it's going to be blended by OCP. They will now go into what we call the validation phase before it will be available to the farmers.
The effort of federal government, research institutes and other collaborators in formulating soil-specific intervention in areas where these crops are grown, therefore, becomes necessary in Ibadan. Kemi Oshi, NTA News.
For the transmission of HIV/AIDS to be reduced to the barest minimum in Nigeria, stigmatization must be tackled and adequate sensitization about the disease must be carried out, especially among people living with the disease. These were re-echoed by speakers at the opening ceremony of a capacity-building workshop for people living with HIV/AIDS in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, where there is 1% prevalence rate. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya reports.
Federal government's plan is to reduce the transmission of HIV/AIDS to the BRS by the year 2030. However, this can only be achieved if people living with HIV virus are not stigmatized and know their rights. The trainees, among other things, introduce the participants to various skill acquisitions and job opportunities that can make them productive despite their health status.
The essence of this capacity building is to strengthen those who are positive, who are accessing services, because we have people who have stigmatized them, but we also have them stigmatizing themselves.
So if we incorporate this, we have a program that we call the FLHA, Family Life HIV Education. If this is well incorporated into our curriculum, it will be like a normal mathematics, normal English.
If you have HIV and you're living with it, you can actually live a good life so long as you're on medication and you're taking care of yourself.
With the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, regular use of prescribed medication and prompt visits to the hospital are necessary for HIV/AIDS victims to avoid being knocked down by the disease. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
And that does it from Ibadan. Ifoma, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Kemi. Now, beneficiaries of the 17,000 special public works from the 17 local government areas of Enugu State have been urged to take advantage of the federal government's program to better their lives. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, said this at the inauguration of the program in Enugu State. James Obarekocha reports.
The program is aimed at lifting the less privileged youths in the country, especially with the hardship occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic, by engaging them in more useful works.
This is the first step. Then we will now look at what is possible financially and otherwise will be maximized and taken advantage of.
Many unemployed youths of Nigeria are being empowered to be able to put food on their table.
The Enugu State chairman of the program said the recruitment of the beneficiaries is in line with Mr. President's directive, where genuine persons with verifiable addresses and contacts were engaged.
But in this particular exercise, the 17,000 beneficiaries, we had their numbers, we had their address, we had their names.
Some of the beneficiaries expressed their happiness for being selected.
Yeah, I feel excited enough.
I feel very, very happy, and I thank God for everything.
They are expected to engage in various community-environmental jobs ranging from drainage clearing and maintenance, vegetation control, feeder road maintenance, irrigation, among others. In Enugu, James Oparikocha, NTA News.
The role of the youths in governance is critical to the development of any nation. That is why exposing them to necessary leadership skills such that will effect societal change cannot be overemphasized. In driving this, stakeholders at a symposium organized by Lead Generation Initiative believe for the youths to impact on governance, they must be actively involved in grassroots politics.
The desire to get involved in Nigeria's political space continues to gain grounds in a bid to be heard while adding value to governance. The symposium by Lead Generation Initiative in Abuja was targeted at developing a platform to help youths identify their roles in not just promoting quality leadership, but how best the interests of people like Mary Jane Ujungwa and Biodu Joshua can best be represented.
I'm here to get to equip myself with the necessary to be able to be part of leadership.
I believe that our problem is not the government in Nigeria. I believe that our problem is orientation. And what Lead Generation teaches us is how to be able to take responsibility in your immediate environment.
In realizing these objectives, former Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, along other speakers, were of the view that youth must be ready to serve and take responsibility through active participation in the socio-political process of their fatherland.
And the truth is that what is the centerpiece of influence is character. If you don't have character, there's no way you can influence people.
Leadership is not about selfishness, it's about catering for other people.
The symposium by the Lead Generation Initiative may be all about making the voices of young Nigerians heard to take up skills and responsibility. But why the leaders of tomorrow must start leading now through political participation was topical.
We must no longer speak about the youth in the context of the future in this country. We must speak about the youth in the context of the present, of the here and now.
The symposium and unveiling event had participants from the 36 states and the FCT through visual link. In Abuja, Charles, Alpha, NTA News.
Towards restructuring and strengthening local governments in achieving their mandate of addressing the needs of citizens at the grassroots level, analysts insist that some level of financial and political autonomy must be given to the local governments. This was a submission of guests on Good Morning Nigeria while reviewing the role of government in empowering Nigerians in the rural communities.
Good Morning Nigeria have blamed the increasing rates of rural-urban migration on infrastructural deficits, lack of social amenities, poverty, and unemployment. To change the narrative and bring back Nigerian local governments to its former glory, the guest says emphasis must be placed on national planning and development.
We will not say that communities are doing nothing. The communities on their own are trying to respond to the little problems they have. But these bandits, these criminals, have superior power over and above the capacity of the local government.
Even if the government provides the fund and then the templates for checking the activities of these criminals in the rural areas are not properly placed, you are not likely to get anything.
On the issue of insecurity and the increasing rates of criminality in the rural areas, the guests maintain that security is vital. Hence the need for synergy between security agencies at the local government level and the rural communities.
Advancements in science and technology have enabled us to detect 24/7 who is coming into our border areas. Even the ungoverned spaces, the 1,129 forest reserves, there are drones that you can deploy that can give you 24/7 what is happening in those areas.
We also engage at the local level with the vigilante. And I know for some states like Niger State, they have acquired arms for the vigilante, kept with the police. Whenever there's need for any operation, the arms are released to them. After the operation, you return the arms.
They also stress the need for effective punitive measures in place to punish criminals. In Abuja, Alika Okwanachi, Arua, NTA News.
Felicia is standing by in Jos with reports making rounds from that axis. Hello, Felicia.
Informer, good to see you and welcome to Jos. We begin with education matters. Management of University of Jos says it has put in place necessary sanitary measures for a hitch-free session as academic activities resume in the institution. Registrar of the university, Monday Danjem, disclosed this while speaking on the level of preparedness for academic activities. Belkis Unuhu reports.
The University of Jos had cut short its 2019-2020 academic activities due to strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities and the COVID-19 pandemic. The recent directive by the federal government for all academic activities to resume prompted the Senate to call for resumption of activities for the 2019-2020 academic session.
Ensure that they are able to do all the measures, keep all the measures in place and everything so that it will be safer. Going back to school made us feel excited.
School management had carried out decontamination in the hostels and other facilities for safety.
Students are expected to come with at least 10 packs of washable face masks. We have also requested that they should also buy this pocket hand sanitizer so that they will be going around with it all the time.
Other measures put in place to curb the spread of COVID-19 in the institution is the placement of hand washing machines and basins as well as sanitizers at strategic locations.
Students are coming in, they are going to, those things that we have asked them to bring, they will also list them and tick them that yes, they have brought them.
Lecturers and security operatives in the institution are advised to ensure strict compliance by students during lectures and at various entries of the campus. In Jos, Bilkis Nuhu, NTA News.
Away from education, security is one of the frontline requirements of human beings given its place in the survival and development of nations. Salau Abdurrahman Mohammed reports on how security fared in Plateau State in 2020.
Destruction of valuable property, organized crimes like banditry, kidnapping, and cyber crimes played out prominently in the year 2020. Confirmed by the police authorities in Jos, the Plateau State capital. Efforts of the police were complemented by other security agents to tackle insecurity in the communities, among which are the Operation Safe Haven, Operation Rainbow, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. How were these security challenges tackled?
Most communities were able to give us intelligence reports, and we want to give us more in the year 2021, because most times where there are distress calls, we are always, when they call, we are always there timely.
Operation Rainbow in its characteristic responsibilities has been proactive and at the same time reactive and also preemptive. We made deployments to the various nook and crannies of the state in case there is any distress.
The security agents expressed optimism that 2021 will witness less crimes and improve safety for all. In Jos, Salau Abdurrahman Mohammed, NTA News.
Time now for another break. Nationwide continues shortly in Abuja.
Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
NTA News 24. A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
Star Times channel 101 and Free TV channel 703.
Join us.
And now sports. One service, one medal games end on Saturday. Details on our sports updates.
Medals have continued to pour in as the One Service, One Medal Awesome Games winds down Saturday in Abuja, with NSCDC's Taiwo Sadiq and Veronica Sunday winning the men and women singles in squash.
The last tournament we played, I won gold medal too, so I'll always be a champion.
Federal Road Safety Corps duo Uche Okparaji and Christine Nwankwo have qualified for the tennis finals. In football, hostilities continue this weekend in the Nigeria Professional Football League with Week 6 fixtures. Katsina United welcome Plateau United at the Katsina Township Stadium. The match will be live on the NTA network on Saturday. On Monday, Adamawa United will lock horns with Eyimba International FC. The match will also be live on NTA Sports 24 channel at 2 p.m. While Wiki Tourists will go toe-to-toe with Jigawa Golden Stars. That match will also be live on NTA at 4 p.m. To continental football now, Nigeria Professional Football League side Rivers United have since arrived Porto Novo, Benin Republic, for their CAF Confederation Cup first round second leg tie against South African opponents Bloemfontein Celtic at 4 p.m. on Saturday. The match is taking place in Benin Republic due to Bloemfontein Celtic's inability to meet Nigeria's strict COVID-19 stance on travelers coming in from South Africa. To world football now, contrary to reports that the Tokyo Olympics have been cancelled, the Japanese government says the games will go on. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, issued a statement saying that it is fully concentrated on and committed to the successful delivery of the Olympic and Paralympic Games this year. And that's it on Sports Update. I am Tamara Ibiwe.
The Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Megeri Dingyadi, has expressed sadness over the demise of retired Inspector General of Police Gamboji Meta, who passed on Thursday, 21st January 2021. In a statement, the minister described the late Gamboji Meta as a quintessential police icon who contributed in building the structural framework of the police, which led to his appointment as Inspector General of Police in 1986. Meanwhile, the minister condoles with the family of late Gamboji Meta, the Nigerian police force, and prayed Allah to grant him Al-Jannah Firdaus. And that's nationwide for today. We thank you for watching.